You can learn about missions in a classroom, but you will only learn how to do missions on the field. Well, welcome back for our final episode, number 53. Before I get started, let me just say how much I've enjoyed doing this. I hope it's been a benefit to you, and if it has, I certainly hope you'll share this with missions-minded friends, and particularly young people who want to be involved in missions. It is imperative, if we're going to try to fulfill the Great Commission, that we understand a little bit about it, more than just that it was given by Jesus to a handful of men on a hilltop somewhere. There's so much more, as you've seen. This will be our 53rd lesson, and we could probably go on with more. And along those lines, if you've thought of some question you'd like to have answered or a topic you'd like to have addressed, please send it to me, jnelms@finalfrontiers.org, and maybe we can address that in the future as well. It'd be a benefit to me and to any others that could learn from it. But as I say, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've gotten a copy of the book for yourself. We offered it to you free. And I hope that you'll go back and read it again and again. I wrote it not as something to be going through like any other book you'd read, but just to take one little 2-page chapter, one day a week, read it, think about it, put it aside, and next week come and get the next one, just to keep missions on your mind. So I hope you'll be able to use it in that sense. Now, in our final episode today, we're going to talk about getting ministry practice before going to the mission field. And to me, this is one of the most important things that a missionary could do to lead him towards a successful ministry. So here is my question to you. To be a genuinely successful missionary, is it necessary to have a degree in missions? Think of those you consider to be the 5 greatest missionaries of all time. If you're a student of the New Testament and history, your list may include Paul, Barnabas, Silas, Hudson Taylor, William Carey, David Brainerd, C.T. Studd, David Livingston, Adoniram Judson, James O. Frazier, and even Henry Martin. Probably all of these men attended seminary, but it's unlikely that any of them took courses in missions. Think about that. Theology and hermeneutics, sure, but probably not missions courses. So how could they be considered successful if they didn't have an academic foundation in missions? The answer is profoundly simple. You can learn about missions in a classroom, but you will only learn how to do missions on the field. In classrooms, you study missions. On the field, you do missions. You can also learn about aviation, automobile mechanics, or welding in a classroom, but you'll never get hired without experience. That's why most professions have what we call apprenticeships. Next time you have an operation, consider this. Do you want a highly educated surgeon or one with education and years of experience? I know the answer. For the past 50 years in missions, Americans have deviated from the philosophy of get some training first. Our missionaries go directly to the field with no real apprenticeship at all. Thankfully, being a pastor still requires having some hands-on experience. Imagine if your pastor had no experience pastoring before he took the job. That's why most start as an assistant pastor or youth pastors. The title should come only after the education and the apprenticeship. But in missions, no. We send our young families out with no experience to a strange land and expect them to both survive and thrive. No wonder nearly half of all missionaries quit in their first 3 years. But they are not to blame. At least they tried. The fault is with the sending churches who sent a novice to do what a veteran would struggle to accomplish. There's a reason why all coaches insist that you don't get to play in the game if you don't come to the practices.
If we understood what missions is, we would understand why a family needs to be apprenticed before being appointed. Doctors, financial planners, plumbers, coaches, mechanics, teachers, pilots, electricians, air traffic controllers, train engineers, and even Uber drivers go through internships and apprenticeships. So, why do we look for experience in every field except missions? Is that proper management and stewardship of God's work? It is better to be trained in the classroom and tested on the field before titled with a position. Education plus experience equals missionary.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode in our Understanding the Great Commission series. If you'd like a copy of the book, it's available in paperback, audiobook, and digital download. Just click the link in the description below. Thank you for watching.